Hello, Simon. Thank you for your time. Could you please share with us the background and motivation behind your decision to write to Chinese President Xi Jinping, and what key message do you hope to convey?
This idea about writing to the president was actually something that we had been in the chamber, we've been talking about for a while. And this year is the 75th anniversary of the Danish-China diplomatic relations. So it was a good occasion. Actually, there was two letters, right? One letter from the chamber which tells about the Denmark-China relationship and congratulates on the 75th anniversary. The other letter was from me personally about my life in China and what I have experienced and achieved. And it was kind of two different angles. But the key purpose, I would say, is to tell about foreign enterprises and foreigners in China's life and needs, and also to thank the government for everything they have done for the chamber, for our members, and also for me personally.
How do you assess the growth and impacts of Danish Chamber of Commerce in China since its inception? What significance does the President Xi's reply hold for the chamber and its member companies?
The first Danish chamber in China was established in 1931 in Shanghai. But the current chamber was established under the Ministry of Civil Affairs rules in the year 2000. So this year is our 25th anniversary. 25 years ago, there were very few companies in China. But recently, especially the end of 2021, we managed to merge because there was a Shanghai chamber, there was a South China chamber, and there was the official registered chamber in Beijing. We managed to merge everything together. And that was, you could say, a little bit a start of a new era for the chamber because we had one chamber for all of China and we had one voice. It's also maybe important to explain that there is only 18 registered chambers of commerce in China, chambers of commerce, only 18. And Denmark happens to be one of them, which is very good for us since 2021. So in 23 and 24, and also in 25, we have written recommendations to the central government, to the state council, about what we and our members have of needs in terms of investment, environment, and how can China help, or the environment help foreign companies develop better in China. And I think this dialogue has been very constructive. The letter also came from this advocacy effort. So the ideas of sending comments or recommendations to the State Council then kind of culminated with sending also a letter to the president. And he was obviously, he read it and he was very pleased, I think, with what, at least that's the letter, what the letter is saying, that he believes that we have an important role to play in terms of bridging Denmark and China and Europe and China. So that's a big task on our shoulders also. We're very honored and happy that he received it and he read it, but we also have, work to do, even more work to do.
Yes, like in the letter, President Xi expressed hope that DCCC and its members would continue serving as a bridge, you also mentioned, between China and Denmark and between China and Europe. So in your view, how does the Chamber facilitate mutual understanding, friendship, and win-win cooperation?
I think the important part of communicating the needs of the Danish companies in China to the China government, whether it's central or local, that's one part. Another part, and this is something we have done a little bit more recently, is we explain China and the needs of the Danish companies in China and China as such to the Danish government and to the headquarters of the Danish companies in China. And there is a very important, in my opinion, a very important job of bridging the gap between, and you would think that the gap is between China and Denmark, but it's even within the companies that are here from Denmark. There's also a gap between the China entity and the headquarters. So this gap is also something we need to help bridge. And we can do that by communicating, by inviting people to China. The more people visiting China is a very good and practical way to understand. You cannot understand China by sitting in Denmark and reading Danish newspapers. For instance, also this weekend, our foreign minister Rasmussen will arrive in China, and we will also talk to him and explain him the angle or the perspectives from the chamber, of course, representing our members here in China.
About the visit of Danish foreign minister. So what outcomes do you anticipate from this visit?
Rasmussen coming to China is a sign of, the friendship and the collaboration spirit from the Danish side, and of course also from the Chinese side. So I think that it's a new step in understanding each other better, in finding opportunities, and we will also present the points that we have written to the Chinese government, and the ones we've written to the Danish government will also present to him. So hopefully there's more communication, better understanding coming through this visit. I'm sure there is.
And last but not least, who ultimately pays the price for U.S. tariff? So with increasing global concerns over U.S. tariff policies, how will these measures impact the international imports and exports? In your view, how should all parties involved respond to these challenges?
The tariff, you can use it as a very temporary short measure in order to force another country to do something specific. But as a long-term strategy, adding tariffs will only add costs to the consumer in the US. In my opinion, it would be much better to foster policies to make US companies competitive and help them, develop new technologies and new efficiencies. Adding tariffs will not make things more efficient. It will be the other way, because US companies that are maybe not efficient or not competitive will have, a protection because of the tariffs, so they can increase their prices and continue to be not so efficient. So the whole tariff story as a long-term strategy, I don't think is a good one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time, Simon.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome. Hope to see you in Beijing.